so official and legit.
Yeah. Now this is really like multitasking.
Totally.
Total multitasking.
It's all platforms. It's YouTube, it's Facebook, it's Instagram.
Just
the DSLR.
Making the best use of our time. We're even on Russian Facebook right now, just so you know.
Oh, wow.
We are live.
We are literally all over the world.
Yeah.
Great.
Awesome. I want my Lauren.
At Taja V. Simpson.
Yeah. And we met because we're both in a movie together.
Yeah. This amazing movie called Wally Got Wasted. So she's like the lead, though, right? So she's like the lead in Wally Got Wasted, directed by Adam William Ward, produced by Adam and Seth. So it's just a great comedy. It's like a mix between The Hangover meets Weekend at Bernie's. So it's super funny. She's in it. I have a voiceover in it, though. My voice lends to the movie.
Your voice is in it.
My voice is in it. But you'll see her on screen. So, yeah.
But you're in a lot of big movies.
Yeah.
You worked with Tyler Perry.
Worked with Tyler Perry.
How is that?
Okay, so Tyler Perry is funny as hell, right? And an all-around, genuine, like, super great guy.
Uh-huh.
So I worked on the movie called Boo 2 with Tyler Perry. It was the Halloween movie.
Yeah,
Medea's Halloween.
Yeah.
And I played his ex-wife, so it was a lead role, which was really cool. Which is like my first big movie, which I was super excited about because I'm throughout the whole movie. So all my friends would watch it and be like, "Oh shit, you were throughout the whole thing." I'm like, "I know, right?" So it was really good. It was a lot of fun.
Oh, I definitely want to watch it. Is it out now, or how could people go see it?
Yes, please get the DVD. Medea's Boo 2 and Medea Halloween. The DVD is out. It came out in January of this year, so please check that out if you guys haven't already. I know all my followers have already seen it, though, right? Great.
Yeah, but guys, if you go see it, make sure you go to IMDb, give it 10 stars,
10.
and say something nice about her in
particular
in the comments, so that she gets cast in his next movie as his wife or ex-wife or whatever
or something.
Yeah. But anyway, any tips? What are your like main tips for people trying to get into acting?
So, interesting enough, I wrote this amazing book, ta-da, called Cracking the Acting Code, a practical step-by-step guide to becoming a professional actor. And some of the main tips, number one, would be know who you are. Most actors don't know their type, right? They don't know who they are. So this book will cover that. It will cover the styles and tones of acting. It will cover how to get an agent. It will cover your reel, your resume. Wow. It covers all the things that you need to learn, to know, to get into this business.
That's
so
awesome.
If that's something you really want to do, then this book is absolutely for you.
And now, how long did it take you to like master this code of acting?
That's a great question. Do we ever really master it? You know, acting is one of those things that you're forever growing in, you know?
Yeah.
But I would say I've been in LA like 10 years. And so this is a culmination of all the years that I've been here, as well as my co-author, Sabrina M. Revelle. She and I wrote this book together. It took us about 2 years to finally sit down and get everything done from start to finish. So I would say the whole time. I mean, we're always learning and growing. So we would get so many questions from people like, hey, how do I be an actor? Hey, what do I do? Hey, how do I get started? And I was like, you know what? We should write a book. And so she hit me and was like, you want to write a book? And I was like, yeah, I do. I want to write a book about the same thing. And so we ended up doing it together. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, we think so.
How long did it take to write the book?
You know, from start to finish, I would say a total of 2 years. But to actually write it, we really got serious, and I would say maybe like a year. A good solid year of just like working on it, fleshing out the chapters. We both wrote on every single chapter, and then we would merge the chapters, and that would be a process in itself. And then from there, it was about picking the design and the color, and, you know, what we really love about it is like you'll see it's Cracking the Acting Code, and this is like film reels, and it's like a little code in the background. And then the mask, obviously, the comedy and tragedy and stuff like that. So we're really proud of it.
That's awesome. Now, what would, like, out of all the chapters, what do you think is the most important? Or is there one that's, like, you know, is it more about auditioning? Is it more about the craft? Is it more about the connections? What's, like...
So all of those are really important, right? But if I had to choose one, I would say know who you are. 90% of actors do not know their type, do not know who they are, especially when they're starting off in this business. I get it. We're actors. We're all chameleons. We all can do everything, right? However, in starting out, people see you as a type, and that's the thing about acting. It's all about what you look like first. People look at your headshots and it's like, oh, you'd be perfect for this role. You'd be perfect for that role. But it's all about your type. So I would say once an actor truly finds out their type, that helps them to better themselves throughout the whole journey. That would be number one for me.
That's all. What type do you think I am? Can you tell me what type I am?
Oh, boy. I knew that question was coming. I swear. I was like, she's going to ask me. I say you're like, I'm only going to use typical Hollywood lingo, right? Which is like the hot chick. I would say that. You would probably play that role versus, no offense, but versus like the nerd or the girl who can't get the guy. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you would go in for that role and they'd be like, I just don't see you as the nerdy girl who can't get the guy. Like, you know what I mean? And I think that's still good, you know? But I think that would be your initial type of just walking in, not knowing you, not hearing you speak, not knowing if you're actually good or not, like not knowing anything, just looking at you. I'd be like, oh, she'd be great for that. Yeah. So awesome. The perfect role you played in Wally Got Wasted.
Yeah, I get that a lot. Like the ex-girlfriend that ruined everything, and then they find the girl of their dreams. Like that's the role.
Well, you help them. Yeah. Find the girl of their dreams.
That's me. That's me. What about you? What type are you?
What would you say?
I would say the hot chick too, but I can also see like that teacher, you know, the teacher, the wife. I don't know about the ex-wife, but I just watch it. You know,
I could be a vixen a little. No, yeah, I would play. I play young moms.
Well, I watched your reel, and there was some really cool. I forget, like there was one of you. You just like looked super sexy. I forget which show it was.
Lethal Weapon.
Yes,
I had the big curly hair.
Yes, it was
Love
crazy.
that role because she's so fun.
So did they have your hair like that, or did you how did they know to make your hair like that?
I wore my hair like that for the audition.
Oh.
So when I went for the audition, I was like, man, this girl is very like sexy, and she's written to be that way. You know, she's into cars and bikes and stuff like that. And so I personally wanted a different look on my reel. So I was like, I'm going to do my hair really curly. And so I wore these little like booty shorts and a little crop top and some heels because that's the kind of look they wanted.
Yeah.
And so I walked in and these long legs and they were like, yeah, okay, I think you're great. Yeah, I think you're great. So I did great on the audition. And then like a couple days later, I booked it.
That's awesome.
And I had a really good time working with Damon Wayans. Like he was... I grew up watching him on In Living Color.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So to work in the same scene with him was really a dream come true.
And what was an audition? Can you talk about the audition process for something like that? Because that's a huge audition. Like were producers there? Who was there at the first casting? Were the producers there, or at the callback, or did you have to do a screen test?
Great.
Sorry, so lots of questions.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that's great. So typically you go in for what's called like pre-reads. It'll just be you and a casting director or a casting assistant, and they just put you on tape, and then they send that tape to producers, and producers would sometimes cast off tape, which is happening a lot now, or you'll make it to callbacks, and callbacks will be either just a callback or then a producer session, just depending on the production, the show. It kind of goes like that. For this one, they were looking for the role initially to be a Latina character. And they had auditions and all this stuff. They brought all these girls in for the producer session. However, they did not find the girl they wanted. So then they opened it up to African Americans. And that's how I was able to go in. So when I went in, they were actually casting for a different role for that episode, which was like 40 to 50-year-old white males. And they were all in suits. And then I walk in, this, model-looking girl with big curly hair and little Daisy Dukes on and a crop top. And they were like, are we going for the same role? Which was a lot of fun. So I go in, and one thing and I coach actors as well, but one thing I always say to them is you have to treat your auditions as if you have already booked the job, right? Yes, plenty of people will tell you, oh, the holding the paper is fine, or looking at the words is fine, and that's absolutely true. But I like to live at a higher standard, and with that being said, I go in off book. Like, I'm 1,000% off book. I do not need this paper in my hand. I go in as if I'm in the scene. I've already booked it. I visualize the moment. I see it in my head, all of that. So when I went in, and I did it the first way, and she gave me an adjustment, which is always great. I mean, they love what you're doing. They're like, oh, let's see it like this. Let's see it like that. Like, let's play. Did it again. And then they were like, that was perfect. Thank you. And I was like, yay. But it was just me, the casting director, 2 of them, and the camera. That was it. And then they sent it to producers, and I was cast off tape.
And who was the 2 other people that were sent in? Like, you said that there was 2 other people in there?
Just the casting.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, both casting directors.
And then when you went in there, you met the whole crew.
And then when I booked it, I met the whole crew.
That's so cool. That's awesome. And now, in terms of like your headshot, how did you get the audition? Was it an agent? Was it yourself?
So my manager, funny story enough. So when my manager was friends with the casting director. So this is why relationship capital is so important. It's all about who you know. My manager was actually hanging out with the casting director the day she got the call, it was like on a Saturday.
Wow.
The day she got the call and was like, oh, none of the girls worked. Producers came back. They didn't like any of the Latinas. They're going to open it up to African Americans. They're trying to find a certain type, certain look. And my manager was like, oh, well, I have a girl. I think she'll be perfect for that. And they were like, okay. So they showed her my stuff. And she was like, oh, totally, send her in. So my manager texted me on Saturday like, hey, you got an audition Monday at 10 a.m. Just so you know it's coming through. Be ready. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then maybe later on that evening, I got the audition sides, and it was for Lethal Weapon. I was like, oh, I got to be on this show. So my friend was with me at the time, Crystal Powell, who's also a really funny comedian. She was at my house, and I was like, okay, let's do this scene. Let's go. And so we just rehearsed it. And then I was like, I'm ready. So come Monday at like that 10 a.m., I was in the office like, ready. But that's how I got it. It's because my manager happened to be with the casting director when she got the call saying they were opening up to different people.
That's awesome. And how many pages was it that you had to go in there? Because a lot of people don't understand that going on auditions is hard. Like sometimes you get a lot of pages to memorize in a few days.
Yeah, sometimes a day. So depending on the size of the role, if it's like a bigger role, you may have 14, 15 pages to go over and memorize and be prepared for. This one was, I think, 7 or 8.
Oh, wow.
I want to say it was like 7 or 8 pages. It was like 2 or 3 scenes. And, but yeah, I think let's go with 7. I think it was about 7 pages.
Do you have any tips for memorizing? Like, how do you do it?
Repetition.
Repetition.
You know, memorizing the lines is like the prerequisite. I like to call that. Like, that's the prerequisite. You got to know what your character's saying, what your character's going through, what's happening in the scene before you can then breathe life into the words that you're blowing up off the page. That kind of stuff is really important. But you got to know the words.
Yeah.
For me, once I get the words down, so my technique is I read everything. I read the sides 10 times. Without any inflection or tone. Oh, that's great. That's
much better, yeah.
I'm just like looking at every camera.
This is live, guys.
Hey.
This is live.
So yeah, my thing is I read the sides 10 times without trying to act it out. Just reading it. And by the time I've read through it 10 times, I pretty much know it. And then it's about what I like to call painting the world or living in the world. So whatever the scene is, I get up and I kind of act it out. My space is my living room. I kind of act it out what I'm doing because you kind of get the character in your body and you like feel how this person's going to walk, how they're going to talk, how they're going to move and things like that. And then from there, I call my mom, who's my reader, and she's literally on the phone with me.
Oh, that's really awesome.
And she reads opposite me, and I have the phone in my pocket, or it's on speakerphone, and I'm acting the whole scene out, and then after that, I'm ready.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's so cool. That's so cool. So your parents are supportive of acting.
They're so supportive. I'm so fortunate in that way because they are my biggest fans. Oh, my God, when Boo 2 came out, they were like, I don't even know how many times they've seen it. Because, it's like seeing you on the big screen. There's something about being a movie star. So much different than being a television star. The world treats you very differently.
And how was that audition for the Tyler Perry movie? Did you get to meet him at the audition, or
no? So,
like, did you get to meet him?
I know. No. Interesting enough, I auditioned for Tyler Perry like 7 times prior to booking this role.
Wow.
Right, which is crazy. And I met him in different producer sessions for different TV shows or different movies because we know he pumps out a lot of content. And for this one, they were trying to find the perfect girl who had to not only look like she could be his wife, but also he had a daughter in Boo 1. And so they needed someone that would look like that would be the mother of the daughter in Boo 2. And I turned down the audition twice.
What?
Because I was out of town.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, I'm not going to be back. I can't make it. And they were like, oh, can you do it Monday? I'm like, okay. Oh, and then they bumped up the time from like 5 to 11. I was like, that's a huge disparity. Like, I was in Orange County. I was like, I can't get back. We said 5 o'clock. Now you're saying 11 a.m.? There's no way I can do it. Because I'd already booked out these days. And so then my agent at the time calls me and she's like, Taja, they really want to see you. So I have you set for tomorrow, which was like that Tuesday at 11 a.m. Can you make it? And I was like, okay, great. I will. I'll make it work. And I had so much going on. And I remember just being like, I had to take the weight of the world off of me so that I could prepare for it. And it was 8 pages. Learned the lines that morning and went in and I booked it.
Wow.
And then in 2 days, they were like, okay, you're flying to Atlanta. You be ready to leave. It was like, I went on Tuesday. I left on Friday. To go to Atlanta to shoot the movie. He moves quick.
Yeah, wow, that's amazing. So I'm here with Taja V. Simpson. For those of you guys who are just tuning in, you can follow her on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube.
Yes, everywhere at the Taja V. Simpson.
And she's been in a ton of movies and TV shows. We did Wally together, but she also wrote this awesome book. So out of all the chapters, we talked about knowing who you are. What else do you think is really important that you need to kind of take away to?
Yes, I would say the resume and reel.
Okay.
Absolutely. Most people do not know what their resume should look like. There's an example of it in there. Your reel. I get a lot of reels from actors like, hey, can you critique this? This is something that...
I wish you had your book here so I could look at it.
I know.
I'm like, I want to see what the resume should look like.
I'm so sorry because I just sold my last copy. Like, you can get it online at crackingtheactingcode.com. You can go to Amazon. You can go... If you're locally, it's at Samuel French here in LA.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, you can go to Barnes & Noble online. So you can get it, but I just sold my last physical copy yesterday. I met this guy, and he was so hungry, and I was just like, I have an interview tomorrow, but you can have it. And so that's why. But I am going to ship you one.
Yeah.
I'm going to ship you one so that you'll have it. But there's an example of it in there. When your reel opens, the first thing we should see is you.
Uh-huh.
It shouldn't be a montage. That's like circa 5-10 years ago.
That's what I have on mine.
Oh!
I was going to say I want to show it to you right now, but I'm like, no, I'm not going to show her. I'm not going to show her.
Okay. Well, show it to me after.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it. But it should start directly with you. The montage stuff is old. We don't do that anymore. They want to get to you, who you are, what you do.
Mm-hmm.
Like the montage ones are fine, post on your social media, but if you're going to send it to casting, they just want to see what you do. It should not start with someone else. It shouldn't be like, don't worry about the story so much. So many people worry about, oh, but it won't make sense, or, oh, you won't understand what's happening. They're not looking to understand the story because they know this is snippets of your work. You just want your best work possible, and it's just back to back to back to back to back, you.
Well, I looked at your reel, and you have tons of TV and film credit. What if you're new and you're just starting and you don't have credit, or is this something you want people to buy the book?
Yeah. No, if you do not have any credits, then the first thing you need to do is, I would say, get with lacasting.com, go on Actors Access, go to Now Casting, get on Cats. These things are in the book. Go to all these different sites, and you need to get into some student films. Like, start auditioning. You gotta get some good content, because the first thing everyone wants to know is, are you good? Mm-hmm. Do you have any tape of yourself? That's the first thing. That was the first bit of information that someone gave me prior to moving here. They were like, if you can get some tape of yourself, that's important, and that has still ring true 10 years later. Mm-hmm. You know, people want to know what you can do. You can be gorgeous. You can have a good character look. You can have all these different styles and looks to yourself. But if you open your mouth and you cannot act, no. So they really want to see that. There are some audition or real sites and real companies that will shoot your own like scene for you. Mm-hmm. Even if you did that for yourself, something. If it's a monologue, something, so that we can see what you can do.
Yeah.
When you're starting out, yeah.
I'm going to write your name right here.
Okay.
Is it just Taja?
Yep, Taja.
Taja
V.
Simpson.
Yep. Hey, that's Maurice. She knows it all. Thanks, friend. Look, it's over here.
Oh, wait, I didn't write it right. Taja.
I'm trying to. So we're on Facebook Live. We are on Instagram Live. We are on YouTube Live. We are just live. Which one's this one? Oh, this is Instagram. Yeah. And that's Facebook.
Yeah.
And that's the DSLR.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I didn't even see that. I saw that.
Okay. Dennis, are we still filming on the camera? Sorry. Is it still recording? Sound's on. Everything is good?
Okay, great.
Yep. Right. I'll just do a quick cut.
Cool. Just because it cuts automatically.
Yeah, I know. Like, make sure we're still good.
Now.
Right.
Hi. Did you see that one?
Yeah.
Oh, we get so many fun questions here.
California. So now moving to LA.
Okay.
Any tips for people who want to make that move, or do you think it's better staying in a small pond, big pond? Is that in the book?
So interesting. I say small. Okay, this is what I say. So funny you said that. I say before I moved here, I was like a big fish in a pond, and then I came here, I'm like a tadpole in an ocean. Mm-hmm. So I would say if you are in a smaller market like in Atlanta or Southwest, anywhere in the Southwest specifically, and you can build up your credits there, you absolutely want to do that. Mm-hmm. Like, that's number one. Do what you can to build up your credits, because when you come to LA, you're going to be like a tadpole in this ocean. There's so many other people that have been here that's probably way more experienced than you. And experience goes a long way when you get into these rooms. Because sometimes the rooms meaning audition rooms, can be very intimidating. Very intimidating.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know what it is. You just walk in and they're just like, whenever you're ready. And you're like, okay. and then everything you prepared goes out the window.
Yeah. Yeah, I
don't
totally.
know. It happens to the best of us, including myself. But
see, now when I go into a casting and I see so many like gorgeous models around me, because I feel like everyone in LA is so good looking. How do you keep confident? Do you have any like tips for staying confident in this situation like that? Because that's hard.
So that's. Man, you know what? These are great questions. How about for you? Yeah. So I used to feel like that. I used to go into auditions and I'd be like, oh my God, that's Tatiana Ali, or oh my God, that's a person that already has their own show. And I'm like, how am I supposed to be great? Yeah. And they already have so much more experience than me. You can't look at it like that. You have to look at it like you're going to be, they're waiting for you. Casting directors are waiting for you to walk in and be great. They called you in, they saw your headshot. I don't care if it was just you came in from an agent, a manager, somebody referred you, whatever, you're in the room. So you have to use that opportunity as if no one else matters. So my background is big in sports.
Oh, wow.
So I played softball, basketball, I ran track, I did volleyball, I was a dancer, like I did everything. So with that sports mentality, I look at it like it's a game.
Gotcha.
So I look at it like this is game time and I'm ready. And I always say, and I mean this in as humbly as I can, but I always say, I want you to be your best because I want to beat you at your best. Like when I'm watching, like the NBA finals that's happening, the whole thing about good sportsmanlike conduct is like you want them to be on their A game. You want the other team to be great because I want to be great, and that pushes me to be that much better, for me to work that much harder. So that's what I do. When I get there and I see people that I've seen on television, I'd be like, oh, I'm in the right room. This is where I want to be.
Yeah.
So I don't let it intimidate me. I let it excite me, and I let that fuel me to go in and be great. And at the end of the day, if I give my all, you have to understand it's not necessarily about your talent. It's about who you know. It's about, did the network approve you? It's about, they decided they already have a network deal with this person. It could be so many other variables that has nothing to do with your talent, why you may not get chosen. But you've left a lasting impression on that casting director. They know that you are ready, and trust me, they always call you back in. Yeah.
Well, that's so cool. Now, talk about your team. How did you get your team? Do you talk about your team in your book?
I do not. We have a second one. It's the business of acting. Okay. So the team will come with that. So my team, like my agents, my managers, my attorney, my publicist.
How did you pick? How did you pick those people? How did they come into your life?
So for me, I'm big on energy. I'm big on, after I meet with you, how do I feel? What type of verbiage you're saying that makes me feel like you're really going to work hard for me. You have to always remember that they're working for you. Oftentimes people get it when you're starting off, it's like, oh my God, I need an agent. Oh my God, you could just please rep me. But at the end of the day, they're making money off of you.
Yeah.
So once you transition from that area to the point where I am, which is more so like they're pitching you like, hey, this is why I want to be your agent. Hey, this is why I want to be your manager. This is why I want to be your attorney or publicist. Once you get to that level, and then it's like, oh, right, this is how it's supposed to feel. Like, okay. You know what I mean? And once I got there, I was like, yeah, that's right. But for me, a lot of them came off referrals. Referrals like is a big thing. Like a friend, like a producer got me my management company that I'm with right now. My attorney worked on Boo 2. My publicist came off a referral. My friend who's in the music industry, but she reps him, but reps also a lot of actors. And I interviewed about 3 or 4 of them, and she was the one that I connected with. So you're interviewing them as much as they're interviewing you, because you want somebody who believes in you, that's going to really push you and pitch you to get you in front of the right people and get into the right rooms as much as possible. But then it's our job to make sure that we're prepared and ready and great when we walk in.
Well, that's why you guys need to get the book. Do you do any autograph signings, or is there anything we can promote to the viewers if they want to come buy it or talk to you, or you live stream or?
Yes. So autograph signings, I haven't done one since I launched the book. But other than that, if you guys want to, order the book and then I can sign it and send it, we can do that. Awesome. So yeah, we can work it out that way.
Yeah, that's awesome. So guys, I'm really excited. Please do me a favor and make sure to check out her book. Actually, I should have put the link on here, but after the stream, I'm going to put the link in this description, and also it's on the YouTube stream if you guys are watching the YouTube one. But yeah, I'll put it in my description put
the
it
description,
in the description.
Here, there, whatever.
But let's talk quickly about Wally Got Wasted.
Wally Got Wasted!
An awesome, really funny movie that we both got to act in. Any tips to people out there how to book an indie movie? Is there a difference between booking an indie film than booking like Tyler Perry movie, or is it the same thing?
I would say the difference is the level of talent. Yeah, for sure. So I would say if you're just starting out, and you probably will book more indie films than maybe just... Now, don't get me wrong, that happens. People walk off the street and book stuff all the time, but those are the few and far in between. But you're probably going to book more indie stuff. And the process is still the same as far as like, getting the audition, getting the size, preparing, going in, booking the role. So that process is still the same. However, when you're going in for bigger shows... Yeah, the talent pool is going to be way better.
Yeah, that's the hard part.
Yeah, it's the hard part.
So
You're
hard.
going. It's like, you know what it is? It's like when you're starting off, it's like you're a high school basketball player, or maybe even junior high school basketball player, and then when you audition for the bigger roles, you're going against the pros.
Yeah.
Are you ready? You know what I mean?
You gotta crack the code.
But they do have, you gotta crack the code. But there are the LeBrons of the world, the Kobe Bryants of the world that come straight from high school, right? And they're great and they do wonderful. But the majority go to college, get drafted from there, don't come straight out of high school. Yeah. So just to kind of put it in, a sports analogy.
It takes a lot of work.
It still takes hard work and dedication.
It takes a lot.
And you got to work on your craft, like, every day. Like, what are you doing? So everyone wants to be this because you're a celebrity and it's like you're on TV and in the movies. But what are you doing every day to work toward your goals? What are you doing every day to work toward your dreams and what you want to do? My motto is the dream is real. But what are you doing to make it become a reality? Mm-hmm. Just that simple. How badly do you want it? So
do you work on, like, acting every day? Is there something in your life that every day goes to your acting career?
I do it now maybe a couple times a week. It's not every day. There was a time I was doing it every single day. I was making sure that So let me give you guys a little tip of what I do. What I do is I go to different actor sites, whether it's showfax.com, LA Casting, and I pull sides. Sides are going to be excerpts from scripts that you will then use to audition with, right? So those are sides. No one wants to give out the full script because they don't want the full story out there, but what they will do is give you an excerpt that's called sides. I prepare them. I study them. I set up my self-tape areas in my kitchen because the lighting is the best. And I put myself on camera. I call my mom and get somebody on the speakerphone, and I act the scene out. Mm-hmm. Now, this tape isn't going anywhere, but repetition and doing it over and over and over again makes you better. Yeah. It's like you can't want to be this amazing whatever and never practice. Like, what are you doing to practice at your own dreams and goals? We have to do it.
That's really smart.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get that info after. So I think that's because a lot of times we do put ourselves on tape a lot, but it's just it's like whenever the audition comes in. So I feel like that's a good piece of advice, and anyone can do that, right?
And anyone can do it. Anyone can do it. And even if you don't, let's say I've done this too. Even if it's a role that's not readily in my wheelhouse, I put myself on tape and it was great and it was solid and I sent it in. I still work on it. Mm-hmm. I'm like, that was a good scene. I like this role. I want to do this kind of role. That's what I'm putting out into the universe. And I still work on that scene until I get it to where I'm like, no, that's it. But sometimes you only have a few hours, or you get auditions the night before and you don't have the time to put into it to make it that stellar. Mm-hmm. But still work on it, because when that opportunity comes back again, you'll be ready.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's a really good tip. Now, did you go to acting school or?
I did not.
You didn't go to acting school?
I did not.
Wow.
No. So funny. So when I first moved here, I was broke. And I had no money. I went to Ivana Chubbuck. I went to Aaron Spicer. And I would go to various different classes, and I would do what's called auditing. So I would audit these classes. I would read their books. I would do all the studying because I couldn't afford $600, $800.
Yeah,
sometimes.
It's like rent.
Yeah, it's rent. It's totally rent. I couldn't afford that and live in LA. This is like the second highest place to live in the world, or in the U.S., so I couldn't afford that. So I would study on my own. That's what I would do. I would study. I would read their books. I would go back and practice, look at what they're doing. Okay, cool. And then I got into different actor groups, and what happens now is these actor groups can then critique you of what you're doing and stuff like that and make you better. Then I got into directing. I'm also a director.
Oh, that's
Yay.
cool.
And then I started coaching actors and doing a lot of castings. And I learned so much. I feel like every actor should sit on the other side, and that way you can watch and see what people are doing, and you're like, oh wow, I used to do that. You know what I mean?
I've done it before, and I like that made me really respect casting people because I was like, this is hard.
Right.
This is really hard.
Right.
It's just like I was just sitting there, and I was just thinking like, oh my god, like wow.
Yeah.
It's definitely an eye opener, but yeah, it's really hard.
It's really hard, and you see the do's and don'ts.
Yeah.
So when I was starting out, little things like how to hold the paper, or what to do, and your eye line, and all those things when they're on the opposite side looking at you, now you can see. That's why it's important to film yourself even before you go into audition. Sometimes I film myself before I go into the room so I can sit back and watch it and be like, oh, okay, that doesn't look right. Oh, do this. And I will say, if you don't have, everyone has a phone, a smartphone, we can do it. But let's say, I don't know, you don't live in U.S. and you don't have a phone. Then use a voice recorder or use your phone as a voice recorder and hear yourself. Because oftentimes, I remember casting for an Easter production, and I was casting for the role of Mary, which is Jesus' mother. And this girl came in, and she was so sexy. I was like, you know this is Mary, his mama, right? This isn't, like, you're coming off really sexy. And she was like, oh my God, really? And so I literally let her watch herself back. And she was like, oh wow. I was like, yeah. So that's why it's important to see what you're doing, because oftentimes as actors, we don't know what we're giving off. So sometimes when I'm coaching, I'm like, what are you giving? What are you trying to give off right now? They're like, oh, I'm trying to be like this. That's not what I'm getting at all. So then you can watch yourself and see it, because in our heads, we're doing it perfectly. But that's not always the case. So even if you don't have the video, I would say make sure you can record yourself so you can hear how you speak, hear how you sound, hear the cadence of your voice. I used to have a tendency of speaking really fast to the point where I'm like, wow, what did I just say? You know? So that's another technique that actors can do to make themselves better.
That's awesome. That's really cool. And you talk about all of this in your book, right? That's so cool. Yeah, that's so cool. And you can order it on Barnes & Noble, on Amazon. Samuel French has it.
Yes. Definitely. To the website, crackingtheactingcode.com.
Yeah, this way, definitely check her out. And hopefully, I'd love to do like some sketches with you, some acting sketches.
Oh, let's do it.
Yeah, we should definitely do some sketches together, but also we're going to be in Wally Got Wasted. And I'm so excited. So what was it like working on Wally? You got to film, you did like a voiceover, and how many days was that?
Oh, for me, it was just one. Like, literally, they needed something, like, as far as a news person that's, like, on the radio in the car, and so that's how I did that. But I worked more on the film, like, in post-production.
Gotcha.
Like, I did more of post versus being in pre and production. So, more so in post.
And now, any tips for people out there who are acting but then trying to make money? Because a lot of times you're not making money right away. Like, how did you first survive in Los Angeles?
You know, it's funny. When I first moved here, I did telemarketing.
Wow.
Oh, I hated it so much. And then I got into marketing. And marketing is, something that I'm great at, that I found my niche in. And it gave me the flexibility. So I would say you got to find that job that's going to be really flexible, which is why a lot of actors are waiters or bartenders and things like that allow them to work at night, keep their days open for auditions. So you just got to find something that works for you. We live in LA, and LA is super expensive, so get a roommate, get a flexible job that allows you to take off when you have auditions, and more importantly, prepare. It's like we work so hard to live here, to audition, but then when the audition comes in, we're not really preparing. We spend so much time on like, oh, what am I going to wear? What am I going to do? Or I got to work. I got this. Life shuts down when the audition comes in, because that's why we're here. Like, I can have plans to go to a party, and all my friends know if I get an audition, it's a wrap. I'm like, I will go contingent upon I don't get an audition. And if I get one, everything shuts down. I cancel everything, and I study and prepare. That's how I've been able to be successful.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So let's say you get a call right now, and it's a Tyler Perry movie or something. Okay. So you just stop everything and just study. Yeah,
I do.
And do you go to sleep early? Like, what's your like?
Depends on the day. I'm definitely a night owl, so I stay up and work on it until I get to the point where I know I'm comfortable with it. Something about going over it the night before prior to doing it the next day, because when I sleep on it with it in my brain, when I wake up, it's like it's all there.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, so I make sure that before I go to bed that night, I absolutely know it. That's important.
Cool. And any other tips for people out there trying to?
I'm giving you guys a lot of great tips, When it comes to getting I would say, an agent or a manager, there's a couple different things you guys can do. You can do a mass mailing. Literally, when I was with Herbie Grimes, that's what I did. I did a mass mailing. I booked a lot of co-stars with them, a lot of co-star roles with them, and that still works. So I don't want you to think it doesn't work. That still works. But most importantly, I would say a referral. If you have a friend that's with an agency and they can refer you, that's the easiest way to get in. But that's the one thing people always ask me is like, how can I get an agent? What do I need to do? And I would say, get a referral if you can.
Gotcha.
Or just get your reel together, send your links out, do what you can to promote yourself, get creative, think outside the box, do something that makes people want to stop and stare and really watch you.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Any tips for me for my stuff? Do you have any tips?
I gotta see it.
Okay.
She's gonna show me her reel.
After.
And then I'll give all the tips. I'll say cancel the montage.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all I know.
I'm waiting for Wally Got Wasted because there's some really funny. There's some really funny stuff in there, and there's a lot of big people in it. Got Larry Hankin in it. Definitely a lot of fun cameos that they had throughout the movie. It was really funny, really funny comedy, kind of like Weekend at Bernie's.
Absolutely.
That's definitely. When I read the script, I was like, this seems like Weekend at Bernie's.
It's a modern day Weekend at Bernie's meet The Hangover, and it's done so well. I mean, it's done really well. Kudos to the producers and the directors for really pulling that off. I mean, it's so good. It's a movie that you'll watch, and I feel like it's going to have a good cult following. Everyone's going to watch it and be like, yo, this is funny. Yeah. People see the trailer, and they're like, oh, my God, this is a great movie. When is it coming out, you know? Yeah. So kudos to those guys for getting it done. And I could definitely see a sequel, too. Like, that's something I can definitely see. It's funny. Okay, so if Wally got wasted. I know. I'm like, I can't tell them what to. And I was like, wait, I can't say. I'm like, what would the sequel be like? I don't know. Yeah. Anyways, but you guys gotta watch it when it comes out. Yeah, you gotta watch it. You can check out the trailer actually. Is it WallyGotWasted.com? Check out the trailer. It's so funny. It's so good. You guys just know what we're talking about. Yeah. And guess who's all in the trailer? I'm in the trailer. Yeah. So very excited. I'm very excited about that. It's gonna be, George, you wanna come up here with us? Hey, George. My dog. Oh, baby. Oh, shit, baby. I have 2 dogs. Oh, yeah? Yeah, little Yorkies. Very cute. Oh, Georgie. Anyway, guys. So make sure you check it out. The audition for Wally was actually really, really cool. Yeah, tell me about it. So my friend actually was supposed to, I guess, talking to the director about being it. She's an Instagram YouTuber. And she actually didn't end up doing it, but she gave me Adam's number, and I talked to Adam a few times, and then we met, and then he was like, okay, I think you could do it. First he was like, well, you're a YouTuber, which I was like, well, I acted and stuff too, but like, with the YouTube stuff, and he was like, okay, I just want to like read the role with you, so like that happened. Rehearse. Yeah, he just wanted to make sure, and then I met Patrick, who's so cool and such a good actor. Yeah, he's awesome. Yeah. And so and then he gave me the role. He's like, I don't know, like, you seem really sweet on your YouTube channel. I just don't know if you could be bitchy enough. You were like, wait. I can do this. I was like, I am that girl. Like, that's who I am. That's great. No, I really am bitchy. Yeah. No, really. Yeah, deep down inside, I am. And it was awesome. And then I got to book the role, which was really cool. And we shot, and maybe I think 4 or 5 days was shooting, and it was so cool just to work with the entire cast and crew, and just being on a movie set is fun. You know, it's really fun. Like, getting your makeup done is probably one of my favorite things. Oh, right. I love getting my makeup done. Okay, ready. Yeah. Like, right? Yeah. And their makeup artist was so good at I had worked with her before on something, so it's always cool. Like, I love those moments. You're like, hey, I met you. Yeah, like, hey, totally. I know you. So so that was cool. And then just the whole cast was really fun, and just all really experienced, awesome people. And the premiere was really cool too. Yeah. Which you helped organize, which was really cool. Yeah. You're just super connected, I guess, from living in LA. You just know everybody. Living in LA, yeah. Because I'm also a marketer, so I work a lot in marketing. Like I said earlier, that became my like flexible job, so that I can live here and live the life I want to live while I'm becoming this bigger star. And I remember talking to Adam, and he was like, you do this for a living, right? I'm like, yeah, I'm an event producer. Like, that's what I do. And he's like, oh, could you help me with this? I'm like, yeah, sure. I was like, well, if I'm going to do it, then I'm going to, like, do it for real. Like, let me You just took it. Did you take it over? Let me just have it. And he's like, okay. And I just went for it. And then Everything came out so good. I was so happy with the flow of the night. We were on time. The step and repeat looked amazing.
Yeah.
Like, just everything worked out. You know, our food vendors, our...
I am reading the comments, guys.
What's happening?
Reading the comments. They're saying nasty things, but I've been ignoring them. Sorry. Continue about the food vendors. I'm sorry. Sometimes I get distracted by nasty comments.
Gotcha.
It's part of my own weakness.
Worries.
Of life. But
I'm not even worried about it. I'm just living my best life. You know.
But when I went to the premiere, I was so impressed because I was like, wow, this is really good.
Yeah.
This is really together. Everything looked great. It was just, I've been to a lot of premieres and sometimes it's just like a mess, but this one was awesome and the screening looked amazing. Cool. And yeah, it was really, everything was perfect.
Thank you. Yeah. Thanks for that. You know,
the gift bags.
I believe some of the gift bags.
I was just that's what I really was like. I'm like, wow, they got gift bags.
Gift bags. We had a lot of vendors give a lot of stuff. Yeah. I mean, it was probably like 10, 12 things in those gift bags. Like, it was just great. But, you know, once I watched the film and I believed in it so much, you know, and I thought what Adam and Seth, you know, was able to do with the film, I thought that was so great. I was like, man, I believe in you guys so much. I want to do what I can to make it great. So I just treated it like it was my own premiere for my own movie. And it came out good. So I'm happy you were happy because I wanted the cast to come and feel like, wow, this is for me. And I'm like, yeah, it's all for you, you know. So it was cool.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. Shout out to Freaky the Scary Snowman. Hi. Yes, we are both in movies. You can IMDb us. I'm Lauren Francesca and
Taja V. Simpson.
And we're both on Instagram. I want my Lauren on Instagram and
at Taja V. Simpson everywhere.
Is it? I thought it was Taja S. No.
V.
Taja V.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. But yeah, that was really awesome. Working on Wally
I can't even look at it. Like, this is too much.
Working on Wally was so much fun. Definitely lots of late shoots. They did a lot of late night shoots.
Yeah, because it was shot overnight.
Yeah.
A lot of it was nighttime. Everything happens in the movie in one night.
Yeah.
So you got to have that nighttime shoot.
That's always hard.
Gotta love that.
Night shots are very brutal. Hard. Yeah. Because we were there like all night and then they had to, go back and set up the next day. I was just like, I feel bad. I feel bad for the director and the crew right now because they're probably not going to sleep. And then Adam also had to work to act in the movie.
And he's in it, right.
So
it's just like, wow.
I don't know how he did that, but it came out really great. Like, it came out really funny, so I wouldn't have guessed that he probably didn't sleep for 2 weeks.
He didn't. Probably for a good month.
Yeah.
Like, little naps here and there, you know what I mean? But
but
he did a good job.
Yeah, but it's amazing when people put a movie together and make a project. It's just, it's such a long process, so.
The art of filmmaking.
Yeah. So you direct stuff too?
Yeah.
What are some of the types of things that you make?
Let's see. I've done a bunch of music videos, different promo videos, commercials. I have a music video coming up that I'm getting ready to do. Well, I just got pitched it. Okay. Possibly coming up at the end of this month, which is going to be really cool. So yeah, I do that kind of stuff. I've done shorts, so I'm ready for my next narrative. I'm trying to decide if I want it to be a short film or if I want it to be a web series.
But
there has to be there's going to be a role for a cute hot chick.
Okay, let me know.
And I think there's a great actor who can play. I think her name's Lauren. What do you guys think? No? No, yeah. I do write a little. Writing is like the last on my totem pole right now just because I do so much more acting and directing. But I am working on my own personal things so that I can kind of be a triple threat like your director of Wally Got Wasted, Mr. Adam William Ward. What? But no, that's what I'm looking forward to next, yeah.
Awesome. Is there anything else that you think we should include? Or
I would say the last thing will be,
that's right, we forgot to talk about that.
And it just hit me right now, really. So I do a British accent, which I'm really excited about because I just did a movie called London and Mitchell's Christmas. I shot in Chicago with Inferno Productions. Oh my God, he's such a cute baby. Look at him. Oh my God, you guys, hold on, you gotta see this. He gets in her lap like he's this little tidbit, but he's not. He's like a good medium-sized dog or whatever. So my character's name is Chantal. It's called London Mitchell's Christmas. Christopher Nolan is the director.
Wow, you worked with Christopher Nolan?
Oh, he likes to say the black one. So there's a black Christopher Nolan that does more films for TV. So I worked with him, and that's out of Chicago. And it went really good, so I can't wait for that to come out. It's coming out later this year, during Christmas, obviously, London Mitchell's Christmas. And then we have another film we're going to be booking together next year as well. So things are moving. You know what I mean?
So what's the name of that movie is again?
Oh, London. Okay, London Mitchell's Christmas.
And when's that coming out?
Probably October, November.
And what kind
generally around Christmas.
What kind of character do you play?
So interesting enough, I played the ex-girlfriend.
Oh.
Well, funny. Throughout the entire movie, I don't know that I'm not his only one, and then I find out that there's another, and then we break up and this whole thing. So yeah, it's about him dealing with prostate cancer. It's like something dealing around prostate cancer for men and the awareness of that and the importance of it. So that's what generally the film deals with.
Awesome. Very, very, very cool. Very cool. Well, I'm excited. I will definitely check that out and go to theaters and check it out. Let me know. Yeah, well, we'll talk about it around, and I'll share it. Also with Wally, is there anything else you think we need to mention or say about
Wally? With Wally Got Wasted, I'll just say, guys, be on the lookout. Go to wallygotwasted.com. I'm looking at every single one of these. We have like 15 cameras here. We're kind of a big deal. So go to wallygotwasted.com. Check out the trailer. Make sure you just really support it. Do your best to support independent filmmaking. It's so important. You know, we may not have always the finances to get, you know, the big Avengers budget or things like that. But generally speaking, a lot of them is really great filmmaking, great storytelling can happen. I mean, Steven Spielberg saw it somewhere, didn't he?
So how did you learn this British accent?
So funny enough, do you remember the show Revenge that was on ABC like years ago?
Yeah.
So I used to watch that show religiously, and I did not know that a lot of the characters were British. It wasn't until I was watching, I want to say like Jimmy Kimmel or something, like a late night talk show, and one of the main characters was talking, and I was like, oh my God, I had no idea you were British. It's so crazy. And I was like, you know what? I've lost roles to different other female actors who were British, and they were doing an American accent. And I'm like, well, hold on. But it was because they were British. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to start working on it. So I did. I started listening to different videos on YouTube and started practicing. And first I started learning different slang things like, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Like things like that, you know what I mean? And picking it up and adding it to my normal everyday vernacular. And then from there, I would do it all the time until I got really comfortable. My goal was to make sure that I could do it at the drop of a hat. So if I put it on my resume, that's another thing. Any special skills you put on your resume, make sure you can absolutely do them. So I put it on my resume, and when I go into auditions, like, oh, can you do a British accent? I'm like, oh, absolutely, and I can go right into it and just talk for hours, really. So I just started doing it every day until I got it really good. And so now I fool people all the time. People have no idea.
So when you went to this audition, did you tell them you were British, or did you tell them you're American?
Which audition? For this film?
Yeah, for the movie.
Well, funny enough, I booked it as my American accent, and then they came back and was like, well, can you do your British accent? I was like, oh, absolutely, for sure. So then I did the British accent, and they were like, oh my God, we love it. We love it. We want Chantal. Her name was Chantel. But then when you say it the other way, it's like Chantal. And so I was like, I would love to make her British, for sure. And so they were like, oh my God, yes, do it. So I was like, there you are. Perfect.
Is everyone else in the movie British, or just...
No, just me.
Just you.
I'm one of his girlfriends, and, you know, I'm British, actually.
So the whole time on set, were you speaking with the accent? Or?
Absolutely. People thought I was from there. They went to the director, like, oh my God, you flew her in all the way from London, you know, things like that. And he's like, not quite. We flew her in, but she did not come that far. So yeah, I pretty much stuck it the whole time and made sure that I was in the accent the entire time, and people would just be looking at me like, what? Or if I would get out of it, you know, like we're wrapped or something, and I would speak regular, they're like, wow, your American accent's really good. I'm like, oh, thank you. I really worked on this American accent. So I just, you know, let people believe that. So
that's so funny.
That's what it is.
Well, this has been awesome.
This has been so fun.
This has been so fun.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming. Is there anything else we should talk about before?
I think we covered it all.
I'm going to edit this into something different. That's why I was just asking you different questions.
I don't know why I'm doing that then. Oh, look, can we take one question from someone? Do we have any questions?
This is pretty inspiring. Thank you. Thank you, Jason, for joining.
Thanks,
Thank
Jason.
you so much for joining. I had to take Type Walker off of my resume for that reason.
Thanks, Lakeisha. She's an amazing director. Oh, that's so cool. Thank you. Hey, Andre. Who else?
Andrea Fuller.
Andre Fuller, yeah.
Oh, I know him.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yay. You know Lauren.
Hi.
Say hi. We're going to wave at you. Bam. Cool. Let's see. There's a bunch of kind of fun questions.
Yeah.
We're trying to think why.
Here's I can.
This is pretty inspiring. Yay.
Yeah. Wow, beautiful ladies, my dear baby, beautiful. And then I'll make a. Oh, okay.
How can I become what? They're coming in so quick. I don't know. So we're getting a lot of interesting questions here. We're just going to leave it at that.
What was your favorite acting
What was your favorite acting job? There we go.
Yeah.
I would say, well, let me not say my favorite, but my first favorite, I would say, is Grey's Anatomy. Because I've been watching the show for so long, and I used to be in my room like, I want to be on that show. I want to be on that show. So when I finally auditioned for it and then I booked it, it was like a game changer. I worked with Sandra Oh. She was amazing. I'm really all the main cast, and it was just so good. But that was like the dream come true of like, yeah. And that's on my reel.
Yeah, I saw that. That was a good one.
So that was like probably my first favorite acting job. Yeah, I got the question. Thanks, Zeno.
Yeah, I mean, I love. I guess you never want to say your favorite because you're just like,
I know.
Yeah, you're like, okay, I don't want to upset anyone, but yeah, I really liked working with Louis. That was really cool. He was awesome. Like, yeah, it's like it's hard to talk about those things now, but it's
right.
He was really fun to work with, and then. Yeah, there's just, you always meet cool people on set. You know, you meet friends that you hang out with, and they become like a little family with you. So I love working on different projects all the time. Hopefully we're going to New York in a few weeks. I have a feature I booked called Stronger Than Pretty. I'm really excited about that. And then I have another one in September. It's called To Avenge. So I'm playing a detective in that one. So I'm excited.
She's working so much. You guys hear that? Look at her.
Yeah. So I'm excited about that one.
Well, how'd you book these?
One person. Oh. Okay. Thank you.
Bam. So
it's a battery. Okay. Wait.
No, the battery's fine.
Okay. Is it the car?
Just about a minute. It cuts after 24 minutes.
It's fine.
I checked 2 minutes ago.
Thank you.
So.
Okay.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I have one coming in September called To Avenge, who actually, a lot of people just write me from just, the social media stuff.
Okay.
But yeah, I saw he was filming in Ocean City, Maryland. My aunt hit me up, and she was like, oh, Lauren, they're filming a movie, because my parents would go to Ocean City in Maryland for the summer, because my grandparents used to have a house there.
Okay.
And they were like doing press about this movie, so I like looked it up, and I was like, well, let me write the director, because my aunt was like, oh, maybe you could do background work, and I was just like... I was like,
because they don't know, like most family members don't know.
Yeah, so I was like, so I wrote the director, and I ended up, he ended up giving me a role. So I was so I was like super happy about that one. And then the Stronger Than Pretty one, my friend's doing and has been like raising money and funding. He had a short that he went around with. So it's, it's hard. It's hard. It's really hard. But I'm really excited about Wally Got Wasted. I'm so excited for it to come out.
I can't wait for everyone to see that one. That one's going to be really good.
It's going to be awesome.
Wait till you guys see her. She did so great in it. She's so good.
Yeah, everyone kept coming up to me after. They're like, wow, you were such a bitch.
Did they really?
Yes.
Oh, my God.
And I was just like, thank you.
Thanks. I was just playing my part.
Yeah. They're like, your bitch was like a great level of...
Oh, okay. Oh, thanks, Ray. If you go on my IG, you'll see the pic we took together in Hollywood, the screening. Oh, cool, got it. I thought it was a cool question. I was going to ask you.
Oh, what?
No, I thought that's what it was. It was so much he wrote. I just didn't know. I'm sorry. Didn't mean to cut you off.
You were on set of Lethal Weapon. Did you see the I was just about to read a comment, but I don't know if I should read it. Anyway.
I did not, Steve. I did not. I didn't see that.
Okay. Anyway, guys, this was so much fun. I'm gonna show her my reel now, so I want to take.
We're gonna film my reaction.
Yeah. Yes. Anyway, guys, I love you all so much. Thank you so much, Taja V. Simpson, for coming on and hanging out with me. And
absolutely,
I'm excited. I really want to read your book, Cracking the Acting Code. Yes.
You guys go follow me on my social sites. I'd appreciate it.
Yeah.
A lot of cool stuff comes up there. But yeah, I think we covered everything. Thank you.
Awesome.
For having me. I really appreciate it. This is cool.
CrackingTheActingCode.com to get your book. Yep. And yeah, guys, make sure you get it. Let me know if you get it. And I love you so much. Stay tuned for Wally Got Wasted. I'm so excited about filming Wally Got Wasted with you. It was so much fun. It was so cool to meet you. Like, guys, that's how you meet people. When you get in movies, you meet
cool people.
And, you collab, and it's a lot of fun. But anyway, guys, everyone make sure you follow Taja V Simpson everywhere. And guys, I love you so much. Thank you for watching.
Guys. Thanks for watching. Love you.
Bye. Bye. So many different streams.
This is so I know, guys. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cameras. 6